The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey. At approximately 7 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a massive earthquake has struck the city of Wilmington. This quake has a preliminary magnitude of 9.8 on the Richter scale, making it the strongest earthquake ever recorded, beating the 9.5 earthquake that struck Valdivia, Chile back in 1960. The epicenter of this earthquake was located 3 miles off the east coast. Cataclysmic to apocalyptic devastation has been reported in the city of Wilmington and surrounding areas, and it is believed that there can be thousands, even tens of thousands of injuries and fatalities. This earthquake was felt throughout most of the east coast of the United States, with shaking to even violent shaking being reported as far west as Knoxville, Tennessee, as far north as Ocean City, Maryland, and as far south as Savannah, Georgia. In addition, several fires have been reported in Wilmington and surrounding areas, causing additional destruction to these areas. All residents listening to this message are advised to do the following actions. Stay calm. Panicking will only make the situation worse. Turn off all gas to prevent more fires. If you spot a fire, put it out immediately, so it doesn't spread. If you hear a hissing noise or smell gas, evacuate the area immediately. Stay away from damaged buildings, fallen trees, and fallen power lines. If there is a safe haven, go to an open space away from damaged buildings, trees, and power lines, and take whatever supplies you can. Aftershocks from this earthquake are expected to occur within the next hour. Prepare for aftershocks. Do not use your telephone. The telephone line should be kept open for emergency use. The earthquake may have damaged or destroyed the phone lines, and the 911 telephone system may be down, resulting in people not getting emergency assistance. Please stay tuned to this station for more information on this dangerous situation.
This is WCNC TV News, with a breaking story coming out of the city of Wilmington. About 5 minutes ago, a massive earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 9.8 on the Richter scale has struck the city of Wilmington, with an epicenter being 3 miles off the east coast. This was the largest earthquake ever recorded, surpassing the 1960 Valdivia earthquake back in Chile. Already, cataclysmic to apocalyptic devastation has been reported in the city of Wilmington and surrounding areas, with thousands, even tens of thousands of injuries and fatalities. In addition, several fires have broken out in Wilmington, causing even more destruction and casualties in these areas. This earthquake has been felt throughout most of the east coast of the United States, with shaking to even violent shaking being reported as far west as Knoxville, Tennessee, as far north as Ocean City, Maryland, and as far south as Savannah, Georgia. We have a reporter in Wilmington right now. Tell me, how is the destruction there?
I'm currently live in the city of Wilmington, where the area has suffered catastrophic damage, even though this earthquake's epicenter was located 3 miles away off the east coast. Several buildings have suffered extensive damage and several casualties have already been reported. Governor Josh Stein is currently sending the National Guard to the area to assist in cleaning up the destruction of the city and its surrounding areas. The United States Geological Survey is expecting many aftershocks to strike within the next hour. In addition, several fires have been reported throughout Wilmington and surrounding areas, causing even more additional destruction and casualties to these areas. Firefighters have been called in throughout the region in an attempt to extinguish these fires. In addition, Mayor Bill Saffo is placing a voluntary evacuation order for most of Wilmington, as some of these fires are out of control. The reason this is voluntary is due to some people that are not able to leave buildings that have been destroyed. The United States Geological Survey has also stated that there are also not ruling out of a potential tsunami threat for the coast of North Carolina, if not the entire east coast of the United States, as this earthquake was also felt outside in the Atlantic Ocean. Back over to you, Matthew.
Thank you, Nathan. We hope to provide you with more information whenever it becomes available. This is WCNC TV News, with a breaking story. We will now return to your regularly scheduled programming.
you in my head again. You had your heart set on me, but these feels, they come and go, and they come so easily. Tell me what it is about you that I can't forget, but you're breaking down my walls again, just to set me free. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Staying up when I go out, you gotta know I'm all yours. But when I say what's that about, you start slurring your words. Tell me why you have to seem so distant when I'm holding you. Your fingertips are drifting away into
Civil danger warning. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey. As of 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, several massive aftershocks have been reported in many cities, not just only in North Carolina, but other cities across the east coast of the United States. The USGS has confirmed the magnitudes of these aftershocks to be 8.3, 7.1, 9.2, 6.9, 8.4, 9.5, 7.8, 7.6, 8.5, 6.6, 8.0, and 9.7 respectively. Massive damage has been reported in cities along the East Coast, with multiple casualties already being reported. In addition, several fires have been reported in these cities due to ruptured gas lines, causing more destruction and casualties in these areas. The United States Geological Survey has also stated that there is a considerable tsunami threat for the east coast of the United States. Due to this, all governors of the states surrounding the East Coast are instituting a voluntary evacuation order for these cities, also due to some of the fires being out of control. If you want to evacuate, you can do so at this time. Take essential supplies for your journey, such as food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a flashlight, a first aid kit, a cell phone, phone chargers, toiletries, important documents, and a battery-powered or hand-crank radio with extra batteries. Tie a white-colored towel or cloth to your door or mailbox to show authorities that you have safely left the area. When you leave your residence, be aware of debris and fires nearby. Be sure that this is a voluntary order, and this is not recommended. Only evacuate if you think it's the right decision to do. However, this may become a mandatory order, if a tsunami strikes the East Coast. Please tune into local media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation.
The National Weather Service, along with the National Tsunami Warning Center, has issued a tsunami watch for the entire east coast of the United States until further notice. This is a potential mass casualty situation. This is the result of several earthquakes that have struck many major cities throughout the East Coast. While a tsunami hasn't been generated, it is likely that a mega tsunami will strike the entire East Coast within the next few hours. Due to this, all residents receiving this message are under a voluntary evacuation order at this time. If you want to evacuate, do so now. This is not a mandatory order. You can evacuate if you think it is the right decision to do. Contraflow has been put into effect on all roadways in the watch area to make evacuation more freely and efficient. If you want to evacuate, you are asked to do the following instructions. Grab all of the people in your home. Take important supplies such as non-perishable food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a flashlight, a first aid kit, a cell phone, phone chargers, toiletries, important documents, and a battery-powered or hand crank radio with extra batteries. Do not pick up relatives from schools, hospitals, or nursing homes, as these facilities have their own emergency procedures, and will act on them accordingly. Tie a white-colored towel or cloth to your door or mailbox to show authorities that you have safely evacuated the area. Repeating, a mega tsunami is likely to strike the entire East Coast within the next few hours. If you want to evacuate, do so now. Stay tuned to local media outlets for more information on this developing situation.
The National Weather Service, along with the National Tsunami Warning Center, has issued a tsunami warning for the entire east coast of the United States until further notice. This is a mass casualty situation. At approximately 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the National Tsunami Warning Center has confirmed a devastating mega-tsunami approximately 200 miles out in the Atlantic Ocean. This tsunami was believed to be generated by several massive earthquakes that have struck many major cities across the east coast of the United States. This tsunami is capable of causing catastrophic damage to the coast and is expected to impact the coast within the next hour. The height of this tsunami is believed to be around 650 feet and is moving at a speed of 110 miles per hour. Anything within a 25-mile radius of the coast will be flooded, and areas near the coast will be completely wiped off the face of the earth and will sink into the Atlantic Ocean. Anyone living in the coast is in extreme danger, no matter what direction the coast is facing. Tsunamis are large waves that are not surfable. All residents within a 25-mile radius of the coastline are strongly advised to evacuate immediately. When you evacuate, make sure you are more than 25 miles away from the coastline, so you are clear from the flood zone. Due to the little amount of time you have to get out from the coast, speed limits on highways have been increased to 120 miles per hour, so you can escape as quick as possible. Contraflow has been enacted on all highways in the warned area to ensure the traffic is moving more freely and efficiently. Take important supplies for your journey, such as food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a flashlight, a first aid kit, a cell phone chargers, toiletries, important documents, and a battery-powered or hand crank radio with extra batteries to last you and your family for the duration of this emergency. Try to take one car per family, if possible. Do not pick up relatives from schools, hospitals, or nursing homes, as these facilities have their own evacuation procedures and will act on them accordingly. Emergency shelters have been set up in the following states: Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, Mississippi, Missouri, Iowa, Arkansas, and Louisiana. These areas are considered safe havens. Travel on marked evacuation routes set up by your local authorities, and avoid traveling towards the coast. Do not take shortcuts, and do not travel on roadways that are not evacuation routes. The National Guard has been called in to assist with the evacuation effort. Please follow their instructions. Do not delay. This is a mass casualty situation. Evacuate now. I repeat, evacuate now. If you do not evacuate, you will face certain death by the tsunami. Tune into local media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. A massive tsunami with a height of 650 feet has struck the entire east coast of the United States. It has been confirmed that cities near the coastline have been wiped off the face of the earth and have sunk into the Atlantic Ocean, while areas up to 25 miles inland have suffered extensive damage and massive flooding. Even though about 85% of the population evacuated before the tsunami impacted, there are still thousands, if not tens of thousands of injuries, fatalities, homeless, and people missing being reported. It is almost certain that the other 15% who remained in the warned area were killed by the tsunami. All residents that have evacuated may not return to their homes, as there is literally no home to return to, and crews have to complete surveys on the damage caused, and clean up the debris. In addition, there are rumors going around that several various nuclear power plants around the East Coast have been destroyed by the tsunami, but this has not been confirmed at this time. Stay tuned to this station for more information on this dangerous situation.
This is CNN Breaking News.
This is CNN News, with a breaking story coming out of the East Coast of the United States. I'm your host Zira Parker, reporting from the CNN News headquarters in Chicago. A massive tsunami with a height of 650 feet has struck the east coast of the United States. This tsunami has been caused by several massive earthquakes that struck across many major cities in the East Coast. Many cities on the coast have been completely wiped off the face of the earth, and have sunk into the Atlantic Ocean, while areas up to 25 miles inland have suffered massive flooding and considerable damage. Already, thousands, if not tens of thousands of injuries, fatalities, homeless, and people missing have already been reported. Approximately 85% of the population have evacuated before the tsunami impacted, but it is likely that the other 15% who remained in the coast were killed from the tsunami. Live in the CNN News chopper is my correspondent, Stephen Smith. Stephen, are you there?
I'm here hovering over the city of New York City, and the city has suffered this much devastation. This isn't the only city that has suffered like this, but other cities like Baltimore, Boston, Jersey City, Virginia Beach, Miami, and many others have also suffered apocalyptic devastation by the tsunami. However, some cities are in somewhat better shape than other cities around the East Coast, which has suffered apocalyptic destruction due to those cities being closer to the coastline. Like Zira said, only 85% of the population evacuated before the tsunami impacted, while the other 15% decided to risk their lives to stay in areas that were impacted by the tsunami. This is why there are tens of thousands of injuries, fatalities, homeless, and people missing. What is concerning that there are rumors going around that several various nuclear power plants across the East Coast have been damaged or destroyed due to the tsunami. This might be the second coming of the March 2011 disaster in Japan, with a massive earthquake striking Tokyo, a tsunami impacting the coast, and the Fukushima nuclear power plant melting down. But this could be much, much worse, as we have several nuclear power plants that are damaged or destroyed. If all of these plants start to go through a meltdown or explode, there's going to be a lot of nuclear fallout, and it will probably spread throughout the entire eastern United States. Back over to you, Zira.
Thank you, Stephen. In other news, all governors of the states surrounding the East Coast have all declared a state of emergency for areas that were impacted by the tsunami, and will remain in effect until further notice. This is CNN News, with a breaking story. We will now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
The following message is transmitted at the request of numerous governor offices of emergency services across the eastern United States. A radiological advisory has been issued for all residents within a 10-mile radius of the following nuclear power plants: the Turkey Point Nuclear Generating Station in Homestead, Florida, the St. Lucie Nuclear Power Plant in St. Lucie, Florida, the Brunswick Nuclear Power Plant in Southport, North Carolina, the VC Summer Nuclear Generating Station in Jenkinsville, South Carolina, the Dominion Surrey Power Station in Virginia, the Next Era Energy Seabrook Station in New Hampshire, the Dominion Millstone Power Station in Waterford, Connecticut, the Hope Creek Nuclear Generating Station in New Jersey, the Salem Nuclear Power Plant in Laurel Creek, New Jersey, and the Indian Point Energy Center in Buchanan, New York, due to partial meltdowns of one of the reactors in each of these plants. It has been confirmed that all 10 of these nuclear power plants have been destroyed due to the 650-foot mega tsunami that struck the east coast of the United States 5 hours ago. Due to the possible release of radioactive materials in the air, the following precautionary measures will be in effect for the safety of the public. A voluntary evacuation order has been issued for the 10-mile emergency planning zone, even though it being expanded is possible. Should an evacuation order be issued, evacuate to a safer location immediately if you hear an explosion from one of these plants. If an explosion occurs, put on an approved gas mask, mainly N95 or CBRN. Make sure you have an adequate set of supplies such as non-perishable food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a flashlight, a first aid kit, a cell phone chargers, toiletries, important documents, and a battery-powered or hand crank radio with extra batteries to last you and your family for at least 14 days. Continue to monitor local media outlets for further information on this potentially dangerous situation.
nuclear power plant warning. Repeat, nuclear power plant warning. This is not a drill. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission. At this time, a general emergency is in progress. A general nuclear emergency has been declared when an incident occurs regarding radioactive or radiological materials or particles is occurring and posing a threat to life and property. As a result, the nuclear cataclysm sirens have been sounded to warn the public about the current emergency. A nuclear power plant warning has been issued for all residents within a 100-mile radius of the following nuclear power plants: the Turkey Point Nuclear Generating Station in Homestead, Florida, the St. Lucie Nuclear Power Plant in St. Lucie, Florida, the Brunswick Nuclear Power Plant in Southport, North Carolina, the VC Summer Nuclear Generating Station in Jenkinsville, South Carolina, the Dominion Surrey Power Station in Virginia, the NextEra Energy Seabrook Station in New Hampshire, the Dominion Millstone Power Station in Waterford, Connecticut, the Hope Creek Nuclear Generating Station in New Jersey, the Salem Nuclear Power Plant in Lower Alloways Creek, New Jersey, and the Indian Point Energy Center in Buchanan, New York. A catastrophic event has occurred at all 10 of these plants, which is posing a life-threatening situation to residents in the 100-mile emergency zone, thus prompting a general emergency. The following events have occurred in these plants due to the 650-foot tsunami. All reactors have been completely destroyed. Power grids inside these plants were not being completely offline, structural damage causing rooms inside these plants to collapse, and a large release of radioactive materials into the atmosphere as a result. All 10 of these power plants are set to explode within the next hour or two. Take the following precautions immediately for your safety. A mandatory evacuation order is in effect for the 100-mile emergency zone. Failure to evacuate will result in almost certain death, as the area surrounding these plants will likely be uninhabitable due to large quantities of radioactive materials released into the air. When evacuating, tie a white-colored towel or cloth to your door or mailbox to show authorities that you have safely left the area. Do not use the towel if you need assistance. Should you require assistance, emergency management and law enforcement officials will escort you to the nearest pickup point. Make sure you have essential supplies such as non-perishable food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a flashlight, a first aid kit, a cell phone, phone chargers, toiletries, important documents, and a battery-powered or hand-crank radio with extra batteries to last you and your family for at least 14 days. To prevent exposure from radioactive materials, put on an improved gas mask, mainly N95 or CBRN. Before you evacuate, make sure you turn off all heating and air conditioning systems, close all windows and doors, shut off all gas, and seal up any cracks on doors or windows with tape or damp towels. Do not pick up relatives from hospitals or nursing homes, as these facilities have their own emergency procedures and will act on them accordingly. Try to take one car per family, if possible. If you hear an air raid siren in your area, that means you are in the warned area and you need to evacuate for your safety. Most importantly, stay calm and do not panic. Panicking will only make the situation worse than it already is. Repeating, a nuclear power plant warning has been issued for all residents within a 100-mile radius of the following nuclear power plants: the Turkey Point Nuclear Generating Station in Homestead, Florida, the St. Lucie Nuclear Power Plant in St. Lucie, Florida, the Brunswick Nuclear Power Plant in Southport, North Carolina, the VC Summer Nuclear Generating Station in Jenkinsville, South Carolina, the Dominion Surrey Power Station in Virginia, the NextEra Energy Seabrook Station in New Hampshire, the Dominion Millstone Power Station in Waterford, Connecticut, the Hope Creek Nuclear Generating Station in New Jersey, the Salem Nuclear Power Plant in Lower Alloways Creek, New Jersey, and the Indian Point Energy Center in Buchanan, New York, due to a catastrophic event occurring at these plants, caused by the 650-foot tsunami. Evacuate now. I repeat, evacuate now. Do not delay. Tune into local media outlets for more information on this extremely dangerous situation.
Civil danger for the entire eastern United States. The following message is transmitted at the request of all governors of the eastern United States. A civil danger warning has been issued for the entire eastern United States. 10 large uncontrollable fires have been reported at the following nuclear power plants: the Turkey Point Nuclear Generating Station in Homestead, Florida, the St. Lucie Nuclear Power Plant in St. Lucie, Florida, the Brunswick Nuclear Power Plant in Southport, North Carolina, the VC Summer Nuclear Generating Station in Jenkinsville, South Carolina, the Dominion Surrey Power Station in Virginia, the Next Era Energy Seabrook Station in New Hampshire, the Dominion Millstone Power Station in Waterford, Connecticut, the Hope Creek Nuclear Generating Station in New Jersey, the Salem Nuclear Power Plant in Lower Alloways Creek, New Jersey, and the Indian Point Energy Center in Buchanan, New York. It is likely that radioactive materials are in these fires, and may be ejected into the atmosphere. Should this occur, the evacuation radius would be expanded to the entire region. Firefighters and hazmat suits have arrived across the region, and are trying to extinguish these blazes. If you choose not to evacuate, seek a fallout shelter immediately, as fallout can spread over a large area very quickly. Fallout is a byproduct of nuclear attacks or explosions. Prolonged exposure to fallout will result in radiation sickness and death if not treated properly. Once an explosion occurs, it will only take a minute for the effects of fallout to spread, and can spread for miles beyond the impact site. Make sure you have an adequate set of supplies for your shelter, such as non-perishable food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a flashlight, a first aid kit, a cell phone, phone chargers, toiletries, important documents, and a battery-powered or hand-crank radio with extra batteries to last you and your family for at least 14 days. Please stay tuned to local media outlets for more information on this dangerous situation.
This is News 12, with a breaking story coming out of the entire eastern United States. The Turkey Point Nuclear Generating Station in Homestead, Florida, the St. Lucie Nuclear Power Plant in St. Lucie, Florida, the Brunswick Nuclear Power Plant in Southport, North Carolina, the VC Summer Nuclear Generating Station in Jenkinsville, South Carolina, the Dominion Surrey Power Station in Virginia, the Next Era Energy Seabrook Station in New Hampshire, the Dominion Millstone Power Station in Waterford, Connecticut, the Hope Creek Nuclear Generating Station in New Jersey, the Salem Nuclear Power Plant in Lower Alloways Creek, New Jersey, and the Indian Point Energy Center in Buchanan, New York, have all suffered total core meltdowns in one of its reactors due to all of them being destroyed by the 650-foot tsunami. An immediate evacuation order has been put into effect for residents within a 100-mile radius of all 10 of these plants. There is also the option of seeking a fallout shelter as well. Now I have received word that there is 10 large uncontrollable fires at the previously mentioned plants, and these fires have radioactive materials in them. Firefighters and hazmat suits have arrived across the region and are trying to extinguish these massive blazes. A civil danger warning is in effect for the entire eastern United States due to the possibility of all these plants exploding entirely, releasing every bit of nuclear material inside these plants, since nuclear fallout can spread over a large area. We currently have no reporter on the scene due to how dangerous it is right now. This is News 12, with a breaking story. We will now return to your normal programming.
This is an emergency action notification, requested by the White House. All EAS participants will follow activation procedures in the EAS Operating Handbook for a national level emergency. The President of the United States, or one of his representatives, will shortly deliver a message over the emergency alert system. Please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. We interrupt our regular programming. This is a national emergency. Important details will follow. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcasts and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted its regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air providing news and information to the public in assigned areas. This is 102.5 KZOK FM. We will continue to serve the Seattle area. If you are not in this local area, tune now into stations providing news and information for your local area. This is the emergency alert system serving the Seattle area. Do not use your telephone. The telephone line should be kept open for emergency use. The emergency alert system has been activated. We interrupt our regular programming at the request of the White House. This is the emergency alert system. All normal programming has been discontinued during this emergency. This is 102.5 KZOK FM. We will continue furnishing news, official information, and instructions for the Seattle area. If you are not in the Seattle area, you should tune now into stations providing news and information for your area. It is important that you listen carefully to announcements from a station in your local area. Stand by. The President of the United States, or his designated representative, will be speaking shortly.
The following message has been given authorization for release at the request of myself, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and the United States government, effective as of 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. I regret to inform the citizens of the United States that a catastrophic series of events have taken place across the east coast of the United States. Several massive earthquakes have been reported in many major cities across the east coast, causing massive damage, injuries, and fatalities all across the region. Then, a massive tsunami with a height of 650 feet struck the entire east coast of the United States, causing even more destruction and casualties in these areas. Finally, 10 nuclear power plants across the east coast have been affected by this disaster. These include the Turkey Point Nuclear Generating Station in Homestead, Florida, the St. Lucie Nuclear Power Plant in St. Lucie, Florida, the Brunswick Nuclear Power Plant in Southport, North Carolina, the VC Summer Nuclear Generating Station in Jenkinsville, South Carolina, the Dominion Surrey Power Station in Virginia, the Next Era Energy Seabrook Station in New Hampshire, the Dominion Millstone Power Station in Waterford, Connecticut, the Hope Creek Nuclear Generating Station in New Jersey, the Salem Nuclear Power Plant in Lower Alloways Creek, New Jersey, and the Indian Point Energy Center in Buchanan, New York. Unfortunately, all 10 of these nuclear power plants have, in fact, exploded simultaneously due to all of them being destroyed by the tsunami. These explosions were so powerful that 10 large separate mushroom clouds have been seen as far west as Atlanta, Georgia, as far north as Quebec City, Quebec, Canada, and as far south as northern Cuba. Radioactive fallout from these explosions is spreading rapidly in all 4 directions, and is expected to impact the following states: New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maine, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and the District of Columbia. Due to this, I am advising all residents of these listed states to seek a fallout shelter immediately. Fallout is a byproduct of nuclear attacks and explosions. Prolonged exposure to fallout will result in radiation sickness and death if not treated properly. It will only take a minute after the effects of fallout to spread, and can spread for miles beyond the impact site. Fallout can also cause cancer, organ failure, and birth defects such as stillbirth. Make sure you have an adequate set of supplies for your shelter, such as non-perishable food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a flashlight, a first aid kit, a cell phone, phone chargers, toiletries, important documents, and a battery-powered or hand-crank radio with extra batteries to last you and your family for at least 14 days. If you cannot find a fallout shelter, either the National Guard will take you to one, or seek shelter in an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, and stay away from windows, doors, and outside walls. Place as many objects between you and the outside world as possible. This feels similar to the March 11, 2011 disaster in Japan, but 100 times worse. It is likely that radioactive particles could be in these states for a long time, especially the East Coast. Do not leave your shelter until the 14-day time period has expired, or once told by your local authorities. If you leave your shelter, you will be exposing yourself to deadly radioactive fallout. Do not panic. I repeat, do not panic. Panicking will only make the situation worse than it already is. Even though we are dealing with a lot of uncertainty and chaos, we will rise up from the ashes as one nation, under God, and try to rebuild this nation back to its former glory once all of this is over. We will be resilient and stronger than ever before. If we can get together as loyal American citizens, we will get out of this crisis, and go back to normal again. Always stay positive and have hope during these dark times. Thank you for listening to this message. Stay safe, stay strong, stay vigilant, and as always, God bless the United States of America.
That was a message from a representative of the President. We now return to the emergency alert system. This concludes all operations of the emergency alert system. However, normal programming will be suspended indefinitely, or until this crisis has ended. Please stay tuned to local media outlets for more information on the situation. This is an emergency action termination. The nuclear fallout from the explosions at the Turkey Point Nuclear Generating Station, the St. Lucie Nuclear Power Plant, the Brunswick Nuclear Power Plant, the VC Summer Nuclear Generating Station, the Dominion Surrey Power Station, the Next Year Energy Seabrook Station, the Dominion Millstone Power Station, the Hope Creek Nuclear Generating Station, the Salem Nuclear Power Plant, and the Indian Point Energy Center have finally cleared out of the area, and all residents are free to exit their shelters at this time. However, there is massive damage to areas that were covered with nuclear fallout. The National Guard is unavailable to rescue people from damaged or destroyed shelters. If your shelter was damaged or destroyed, call 911 and the National Guard, if possible, will take you to the nearest military base. All broadcast and cable systems are allowed to resume regular programming. Emergency broadcasts will now be handed over to state and local officials. This concludes the final activation of the emergency alert system. Regular programming may now resume. Your government thanks you for your cooperation during this emergency.